Greetings, Internet friends. Welcome to another episode of the SynergyCafe online show, featuring speaker, entertainer, close-up illusionist, and marketing alchemist, MagicBrad. It's the Internet lifestyle show about career, finance, relationships, spirituality, and wellness. We're moving the online chatter over to real-life activity. And now, please welcome your host of SynergyCafe, MagicBrad.
3, 2, 1. Hey, Internet friends, MagicBrad, SynergyCafe, and the Synergy Collaborative. And I've got another guest on for today, and we're going to find out more about him. And he is a doctor. And now, how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Ruhling?
Ruhling, like a ruler with the H is silent. R-U-H-L-I-N-G.
Got it. Dr. Richard Ruhling. Perfect.
Yes.
So, Dr. Ruhling, when I do these, I don't take too much people's time because we only have 24 hours in our day. So we kind of pull it all together real quick, and it's just a matter of getting to know, like, and trust who you are. So, first off, who are you? Are you married? You got children? Who's the doctor?
I am actually married for the third time. My previous wife died of a prescription drug reaction, so that has a message in itself. But happily married. I was living on the East Coast. I remarried in Arizona. A happy country situation, enjoying the fresh air and sunshine and lack of traffic.
Got it. So then the other question I got is like what you do, and I'm assuming it's like with the doctor thing, it's health and wellness. Is that the area that you profess?
Well, that was my primary focus growing up. My dad was a doctor in St. Louis, and as he made house calls on patients, I admired him. His patients loved him, and I thought I would like to be that. I told him, I guess when I was very small, I want to be what you are, but why aren't you a fireman? Because I thought that would be more interesting. But anyway, bottom line, I did become a doctor and was planning to go to Africa as a missionary, but the opportunity did not materialize. And so the dean of the School of Public Health, where I was at Loma Linda, very progressive, wanted to have a doctor of health science, not to write prescriptions, but to counsel people on lifestyle so that they could enjoy better health without having to see a doctor and get on the prescriptions. So he said, if you could get some qualifications, internal medicine, maybe cardiology. I did. I became board certified in internal medicine, had a year of cardiology at Phoenix Good Samaritan Hospital, and went back and taught there I was responsible for executive health for 4 years until the dean had a heart attack and stepped down, and some other teachers were leaving at that time, and I decided I would leave as well. Went into practice with a group, 5 other doctors. I should tell you on this, while we're talking about Loma Linda, attended a cardiology convention in which Pritikin spoke, and he was telling how his diet got 85% of people off of their blood pressure medicine. And it's published, that's good stuff. It's just that the media and the establishment did not help him because, they said, well, you really haven't cured blood pressure because if people go off their diet, they still have a blood pressure problem. Guess why? So but years later, Dean Ornish, a cardiologist in California, did the same things Pritikin did and got on the front cover of U.S. News and World Report around 1990, how to reverse heart disease. And I have seen it happen. In fact, I had a illustrious example of I was doing seminars in New York City area, and I had an executive who had 3 cardiologists, and they had him taking a dozen pills a day, and he was getting worse. Couldn't walk 2 blocks without severe chest pain, and he came to my series, and I tested him on the treadmill and could see that, he really did have problems. But I said, if I wasn't telling him what to do, but I said, if I were you, I would try to cut down on the drugs and be serious about the diet. And his cardiologist said, if you do, you'll die. but I think he outlived his cardiologist.
Yeah,
He lived to 93. He was 65 at the time.
I can
So
relate
anyway,
to that kind of thing. Similar to because the body is amazing how it will heal
yeah,
itself. I mean,
yeah,
that's what it's designed to do. So you just got to kind of help it along. And the business end of it, they'll sell you whatever because it's business, and I understand the business end of things too. But if you're in the business of helping people, giving them the drugs and things, maybe the drugs to get you through and help you get into a place where the body can do its natural healing. But I had a minor stroke a few years back, one of those TIAs, and I just quit eating the Egg McMuffins and cherry pies and started exercising better and taking care of my mind the way I was thinking, and I feel really good.
Hey, that's great. Couple other things that I would say is don't eat a big late meal before bedtime. When you sleep, your circulation is going very slow, and food in your bloodstream can deposit and create obstructions easier than if you ate earlier. And Pritikin got his fame because of low fat. Fat in the diet makes the blood sticky. And when it's sticky and the platelets are sticky, you can get problems, clots and so on. So that can help your listeners. And drink more water at bedtime to help thin the blood. And you might have to get up to go to the bathroom, but it also keeps your blood moving along.
Well, it makes total sense in that if your body isn't full of food, so your body has to work at digesting it. Why eat at night? Do that.
Right.
That's why they call it breakfast, breaking your fast.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Good.
So the next question I have is like where are you? You said you were on the East Coast. Now you're over in Arizona.
Yes, I'm in a rural country environment that I think is safe for what's coming. I really think we're coming to martial law and trouble in this country. I hate to say that, but it's a heads up. I just don't like what I see happening on the alternative media. At least they're being truthful compared to mainstream, lamestream media.
That's a whole nother program we could get into.
Yeah,
I understand what you're talking about.
Okay. There's another instructive thing I could share from my days at Loma Linda, and that is I was responsible for executive health. I examined executives for a yearly checkup, and I had one man say that sugar bothered his joints, and I had another man say cheese bothered his joints, and a third one said meat bothered his joints. And now these are smart guys. They had figured it out. Most of us don't figure it out. We just think, well, go to the doctor, ask your doctor type of, view. Well, when I got headaches, I couldn't figure it out, though. I could not see a relationship. I could get a headache any time, but the most likely time was Monday morning. And I didn't hate my job, and I hadn't been partying. So what is the answer to why I would get a headache? I went over to the medical center and talked to a neurologist who taught medical students. And I asked him if anything I ate or drank could be the cause of my headaches. He said that would be very rare for my type of headache, which were not migraine headaches. And I later learned he didn't know what he was talking about. When I left the university, I went into practice with 5 other doctors. One was an allergist. And people drove hundreds of miles to see this guy. And so I said to him one day, how many people with headaches can you help? Oh, he said about 9 out of 10. I said, test me, will you? And he told me I had a problem with wheat, bread, pasta, pastry. I was overdoing those things. And I didn't think that was the case, but when I left them out, no more headaches. And so the way it works is that if you become allergic, your body regards it like, and the best example I can give you is nicotine. When people smoke, they don't get sick. They get sick when they don't smoke, when they try to withdraw. Through a withdrawal mechanism, the body has built up a tolerance to the thing you're allergic to. And so I would take sandwiches Monday through Friday, and on the weekend, my wife would say, oh, you get bread every day. We're having fresh fruits, vegetables, other things. Sunday morning was oat waffles, but it wasn't toast. And I was going through withdrawal to wheat that I didn't realize. And on Monday morning, headaches every time.
A lot of people get that from that old coffee thing. I'm a coffee drinker, but I don't drink too much of it. And when you don't have it, all of a sudden you got those headaches.
Well, exactly. But my point is, and you might not like this advice, but I would say take an aspirin or Tylenol, but go through the withdrawal part of it and then just never look back. Because coffee in my experience, can cause a dozen different problems in the body. I'll give you just a few examples. Sleep disorders. People may not sleep as well with coffee. Nervous disorders, wanting a tranquilizer, something to calm them down if they overdo the coffee. In the coronary care unit, it's not allowed because it can trigger a fatal arrhythmia in the context of a heart attack, myocardial infarction. It lowers the threshold for ventricular fibrillation. I had a patient when I was working emergency rooms one night. In the middle of the night, his head was on the examining table. He was bent over. His stomach was on fire. And I said, I only asked him a couple questions. I said, how much coffee do you drink? He said nobody had ever told him that 2 pots a day might be a problem for his stomach.
Yikes.
He had had all kinds of tests and X-rays, and they never told him about the coffee. Well, they probably didn't ask. Caffeine is considered GRAS, G-R-A-S, generally recognized as safe, when really the FDA has sold out to industry, and it's really not safe. We've just covered a few. My daughter got breast lumps working the night shift at the hospital. She couldn't stay awake without drinking some Cokes. And her doctor told her to stop the coffee, the Cokes, and the lumps went away. Yeah. The New England Journal of Medicine is a leading journal of in this country, and 35 years ago, around 1980, 81, March 11, I think, it was pancreatic cancer. Large study, 360 some patients with cancer of the pancreas compared to a similar amount of control that didn't drink coffee. And the lead guys that wrote the article quit drinking coffee. It's also cancer of the bladder, a Harvard report, for women who drink 2 or more cups a day, have double the risk. And chromosome damage, cleft palate. We've all seen this little picture of a little kid with a defect in his mouth, and they want to bill you for the surgery. Donation, but really it happened during gestation when the first trimester of pregnancy they were drinking too much caffeine probably. Sure. So a lot of problems. And my illustration to you, since you mentioned exercise, is that exercise is good many ways. It lowers your blood pressure, lowers your blood sugar, burns up triglycerides, your weight comes into control, your appetite is not so picky, you sleep better mental attitudes. But the reverse is true. If something's bad for you, it's bad many ways, and I just gave you a few for the coffee.
Totally get it. And, moderation, some people drink way, like I got a friend that drinks the diet sodas like crazy, and my brother used to drink that Mountain Dew stuff like by the quart. And
bad.
Well, I have my morning coffee. I don't need it in the morning. I just do it just to hang out and stuff. I'm a water drinker, and also aspirin. I do an aspirin once in a while. Just
baby aspirin. The blood. I think if I had a potential problem, one baby aspirin a day would be fine. It keeps the platelets from getting sticky, along with a low-fat diet. Yeah,
and sort of just thins out all, because I had that TIA thing, and it was just because it was that dirty blood going through my heart and got into the head, and just got to quit eating the Egg McMuffins and cherry pies and do some exercise, get that blood flowing a little bit. So the other question I've got is, like, when do you do your work? I mean, are you like retired? You got some books or something out? What do you offer people now?
I have a website. It's called Richard Ruhling. That's my name, RUHLING.com. And it has a DVD that's really excellent for your listeners. I learned about it at an alumni meeting. I sat across from a fellow who lost an eye to diabetes, but he got off of his insulin and other prescriptions with this DVD by watching it and eating that kind of food. It's called Eating. It is called the Rave Diet, and you can buy it online, but I have it on my website with a few extra goodies for no more price. It's I think $7.95. I paid my friend $15 to mail me a copy, but I buy them 100 at a time, and I can sell them for $7.95. But it's and they can see 5 minutes of it online.
Yeah, I'll put your link in this video, and then I also take the video, put it up to YouTube, and then from there I put it on my blog. So I'll put the links on that and propagate it out there, and because sometimes people don't know how to spell, so it's easier just to click that link,
Exactly. Good for you. Thank you.
So the other question I got is, like, this is kind of just a personal thing. When do you like to do your work? Are you an AM person or a PM person?
I think we really should be larks, not owls. In other words, uh, early to bed, early to rise is good. It's physiologic, and your idea break fast, in the morning, have a good meal, and I like to, do most of my work early. I'm retired though, actually, and at this point, I enjoy doing. While natural health and alternative medicine is interesting, I find, and this may sound strange to you, but I'm even more challenged and find it more interesting to see where this country is going in this context of the Bible, which has been the bestseller for all times. And it links to your spirituality thing. I'm not denominational, not trying to sell anybody on a particular church. The church that I grew up in, I believe, is really an apostasy. But they Seventh-day Adventists, I'll say that. They have good lifestyle, good diet. But and it's for that reason, by the way, that the Loma Linda, where I taught, was the only Western Hemisphere blue zone featured in the National Geographic in November of 2005. It was on the cover story for longevity. They had Taiwan, etc., and Sicily. Another place, but my Loma Linda community showed a picture of a woman putting gas in her car at age 100. So yeah, we do well, and the average Seventh-day Adventist lives about 7 years longer. So the diet part is good. It's just for religion. They got problems like every other church does, and I'm more into non-denominational stuff. So this is not about that, and people can learn how to live healthy without having to go to church. But that's it in a nutshell.
Well, I'm of that faith also. I'm sort of like one people, one planet, and universe is my God, and that kind of thing too. But we can maybe do another interview on that topic of spirituality at another time. But
all right.
My favorite question to ask people, and that is my final question, then we'll wrap this thing up, is why is it you are doing, you sort of led into it because your father was, but why is it that you're interested in this wellness thing now?
Okay. I always wanted to be a doctor because of my father, but when you get to medical school, you realize that it's the age of specialization. You can't be the family doctor that my dad was, trying to help everybody, old people, young people, etc. By the way, I'll share one very interesting insight I got from my dad. Around age 10, he said that 85% of his patients would get well no matter what he did. And 10% he figured he helped, and 5% would die no matter what he did. And if you put that into today's thing, we really don't need to go to the doctor and ask for a prescription, because you will be 85% likely to get worse if you do that, in my opinion, sooner or later, because the adverse drug reactions, and by the way, I have a website for your listeners as well, and it's partly based on the fact that my former wife died. She went to her doctor for a bladder infection. He gave her Cipro, an antibiotic. She did not take it excessively. She was a chiropractor's daughter, didn't believe in drugs, but didn't know what to do. It wiped out her platelets, and she died of a stroke in spite of splenectomy, high steroids, gamma globulin transfusions, admitted to Georgetown University Hospital, where the guy wrote the book on platelets, but her platelets, she didn't have any. And so bottom line, all the king's horses and all the king's men sometimes can't put things back together. And my website, coming back to it, is leadingcauseofdeathprescriptiondrugs.com. And the center column,
leadingcauseofdeathprescriptiondrugs.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
We think heart disease, but stop and think about it. 2/3 of the people who are signed out as heart disease are over 75 and in a nursing home where there is an average number of 11 prescriptions per patient. So they're so spaced out, standing in the hallway, they can fill their diaper and think everything is okay. It's just not a good situation. And bottom line is, stay away from drugs as best as one can, because it's trouble sooner or later.
Yep, I'm in agreement there. I had my nephew's wife. She used to like to drink on a Friday and Saturday night, and then she'd take her Advils and her Tylenols and on Mondays. And I said, "Why are you taking that?" She goes, "Well, I got a headache." And I says, "Well, you don't have a Tylenol deficiency. That's not why you have a headache. It was Friday and Saturday night that gave you the headache." So
Yeah.
they got to hit the source rather than taking the drug, and I think that's all around.
Right.
Anyways, I appreciate you taking the time, and we'll do another one of these on another topic sometime. Again, what I do with this is I take the recording and put it up to YouTube and propagate it out to the world. And if you want to stay on, we'll have another chat a little bit more in depth. But we're going to sign this one off. So, Dr. Ruhling, I appreciate you taking the time.
Good to be with you. Thank you, Brad.
Peace, love, and happiness. This is Magic Brad signing off. Synergy Cafe and the Synergy Collaborative. Be well.